Okay, debug mode is a way in testing the software and making sure that it's working in the correct fashion, in the way you had designed it. Now, I launched this in debug mode. Basically, it was in debug, and all I did was press the arrow button. Um, there's nothing here. There's no projects. This is exactly how it's going to start with yours. You won't have anything to import, so I'm not going to try to import anything. But there's an import and export mode, and you could try these buttons to see what they do. But it's not going to do anything until you create something. See, there's just you can't. There's just nothing here. So you have to create your first project. So I'm just going to create something. Let's say new project. I'll call it new project one and test A. Now, when you go into this window, you have multiple things you could choose here. I'm just going to grab something that has a user response because I want you to see what the user response does. I can add a sequence, I can add another sequence, and then I can remove the last sequence. I can say no or I can say yes. And see, it removes the whole sequence. So the project is here. I can change the project name if I want to. Let's say I want AB. So now it's AB. You have to press update info. Dialog it has 15 rows and it has 48 characters. So I go all the way out here and it'll stop on that row. Go to the next row. It has 15 rows that'll allow you to do 15, and that's it. After 15 rows, that's it. I'm just going to type turn on power supply and then press continue. And I'll add that in here. Test dialog. You could change this to run test one. You could change it to whatever you want to. Again, there's 48 characters. It allows 48 characters. So update info test. When you select this, it's going to be able to it'll go to a test. It'll give you an option to go find your tests. You have to create your own tests. How you do that? I have something at the end of this video that will show you how to do that. Where it's the very end of this video. So I'm going to select that. Then I have to press update. User response. If you're using user response, it does not look for the exit code. If you don't have a user response, it looks for the exit code from the software that your test that you've written. So on this one, I'd say did the LED blink. That's something that they tested on, used at one of the corporations I had worked for. I can press done. One thing I didn't do, like if I go here, it doesn't have a project selected. I can select a project or I can make one default. You can also do that, make it default inside of here, right here with this button. Either way it works. So now it's default. When I stop it and restart it, that will be default every time. I can go with a serial number, start it, and it'll run the test. And it's running in the background. You can see that this is doing this, so it doesn't have tests coming up and closing over and over again. It takes about 5 seconds for the test to run. It's asking me, did I see the LEDs blink? If I say yes, it'll pass. If I say no, it'll fail. So I'm just going to fail. The folders that I had, I'm going to show you that in a second. I only have one project, but what I can do is import and I can export now. So I'll just say I want to export this file. And I'm going to grab this one. This one, it'll show you that one cannot be exported. This file, that one, you cannot export that file. But you can export this one. This is the one you just created. It's in it's something that you can use on another computer. So now I want to export that one. I can open the folder. And here's my export folder, and it has that file in it. If you want to see the file structure, I mean, you can. That's what the file structure looks like. It has its own, keys that it looks for. Um, Again, here now I'm in the debug mode, debug folder. I'm sorry, I should go in here, results folder. So here's the export INI folder, and here's the results. And you can see it did create the CSV file. To import a file, what it would do is you would have a file somewhere on your computer, and you would import it, and it would place it inside of the INI folder here. The export, if this is opened on export, then this is so you could copy it, to a flash drive, so you can move to another computer. If you want to empty it, you can press that, and it empties that folder. And that should be it for the debug mode, to see if it works and verify that it's working. The next, you can do it in release mode, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to do this in release mode. Before I do this, I want to change something, because I don't want this to say, functional tests, Rev2. So I'm going to change something in the properties, and I'm going to add an icon as well. So the icon, so basically I've selected Form 1 by selecting this. I'm going to find icon, and I'm going to go here and select an icon which I created for this program, which is right here. It's my own. Okay, that'll load the icon. Now I want to change the text. I don't want it to say functional test Rev 2.0. So what I want it to say is functional test beta release Rev 1.0, like that. And that's what I want to use. So I'm going to go ahead and save it like this. Now we'll go into the release mode. Okay, so it takes a little time to update. So now I want to go into the release mode, and I want to run this in release mode. Okay, now it's started in release mode. Again, I did change the title. I did add this. It still has all of these things. You'll notice it doesn't have any projects, because it's using it's reusing the release folder structure. I can import files, I can export files, but you still have to have files. So I would recommend testing it, making sure that it works the way that it's supposed to work. You can create, a new one. It's basically the same thing I did in the debug folder, or the debug mode. So I'm going to leave it like that, and then I'm going to show you how to create an installer, and then I'm going to show you how to install it onto your computer.